And I guess that kind of leads us to this next thing is perfectionism when it comes to fitness. It is one of the goals, sort of. And I say sort of because each rep or each exercise that you perform, each rep that you do now should be 1% better than the one you did prior.
Mm-hmm.
I think Will Smith had an analogy. He and his father were building a wall in the back of his house in Philadelphia. And he said
Mm-hmm.
that he wasn't a mason, nothing. He's building a wall. I think he said something to the effect of, I am not a bricklayer. However, this one brick I'm going to lay as perfect as any brick has ever been laid. But then the next brick is going to be even better than the previous brick. So the same thing goes with your fitness or probably anything else in your life is that one thing that you do
Mm-hmm.
today, tomorrow, how can you analyze what you did yesterday or last workout to make it that little bit better this time?
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I've been dealing with that with the workout apps
Mm-hmm.
because there's when on my scheduled app I have to do the lower and then I do the upper.
Right?
And on the lower, it's a lot of squats, but then at some point you got to get on the ground
Mm-hmm.
and I have to do what is it called when your back's up and your knees up? Um
Dead bug.
no, no, no. Your feet are planted on the ground,
Uh-huh.
but you're lifting your pelvic up.
Oh, hip thrust, glute
Hip
bridge.
thrust, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're doing the hip thrust, right? And then you've got the one-legged hip thrust for each leg, etc. And then you got to get back up and you start all over again, right?
Right.
I noticed that when I first started doing that, when I would do the hip thrust, finish it, it would give me 30 seconds
Yeah.
to catch my breath, and I got to be back up so I can
Yep.
start going again, right? Well, I
Yep.
can remember when I first started doing it where I would just pause it because it was going to take me longer than 30 seconds. Initially, I used
Mm-hmm.
to get mad at myself because I'm trying to jump up and I know I can't jump up like that, right? But not without
Mm-hmm.
having some kind of pain. So I had to learn to just kind of pause it, give myself the time to get up, to restart it again, which
Right.
gives me a sense of you know accomplishing and not getting behind
Mm-hmm.
on the app, or just like giving up and saying, oh, I just can't do this. So I've learned to give myself grace in that regard, right?
Yes.
But I also know that they only give you 30 minutes, or 30 minutes, that would be great, 30
Yeah.
seconds, so that you can keep your heart rate up, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I keep that in mind too, because I don't want to let my heart rate drop back down and then it
Well, I
go back
also only
up.
limited the 30 seconds because I want you to get just in a place where you whew, and then you're cranking right back up.
Exactly.
That's
And
what
that's
because I thought about that 50, 60-second rest in between. But by the time you're doing the workouts, are able to workouts that we're doing here, you want to keep that thing cracking.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's cracking. So but I will say I don't have to pause it anymore. So
Well,
now
good.
I'm at a point where it tells me 15 seconds. I know now I got to start getting up and getting ready to
Your
start
hump up off that floor. That's right.
getting on that floor and start running
Good.
again.
See,
So
it's
I mean,
those
so it's those
wins.
kinds of things that you have to tell yourself.
That's right. That's a milestone. We talked about milestone success before. That's a
Hmm.
measurable, sustainable milestone that you can keep using going forward. And you can clock that as a win every single time. That's
Yeah,
good. That's
but I
great.
wouldn't have gotten there if I didn't give myself the grace to get there.
Hmm. So we
So
know that also, if you put too much pressure on yourself to be perfect, it can
mhm.
also make you get frustrated
Yep.
or lead to frustration. It won't make it. It'll lead to frustration because you're not getting something right. And so seeking that perfection is important, but understanding that you're still a human being and you have time to get it right. So take your
Yeah.
time. It's not a race. This is a journey. This is a
Yeah.
lifestyle. You're not trying to cram this into a final exam or writing a paper. You're
No.
literally setting yourself up for life so that you can make those incremental changes day by day, step by step, so that as we reach the twilight of our life, we have a valuable life.